Developing story happening in Harlem. It was a wild scene with emergency crews first responding to a shooting and then finding a fire. CBS 2's Valerie Castro live now from the scene with the very latest for us. Valerie?
Christine, right now police are still processing the crime scene here on West 131st Street. Residents here tell us this all stemmed from an ongoing argument between neighbors, though they never imagined it would turn violent.
They said my neighbors are dead.
Mary Hall came home Friday afternoon to devastating news and this scene, her apartment building on West 131st Street in Harlem, surrounded by firefighters, the NYPD, and even the SWAT team. A chaotic scene that had officers first showing up for shots fired.
The responding officers made entry to the location and discovered a 78-year-old male lying on the first floor hallway with a gunshot wound to the head. The officers then heard an unknown male yelling from inside the apartment, 1A, come and get it, while barricading him inside the apartment.
As police called for backup, they noticed smoke coming from the apartment. Officers forced their way in and found a 59-year-old man dead of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. And on the second floor, the body of a 62-year-old woman also shot in the head. All three were neighbors.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we have another story time about a guy named Hampton Smitty Smith and Yvette Rivera. They both was a loving couple that had been together for 20 years. They stayed in New York, and Smithy was known from North Carolina and had moved to New York and stayed there about 25 years. They both was a beautiful couple. Yvette was described as a loving, warm-hearted woman, and she would do anything for anybody with a beautiful smile. And Smithy was known as a handyman and a superintendent in the neighborhood. He would help out, like take people's trash, do maintenance like plumbing, all types of stuff for the people that was around him. He enjoyed and loved his community, and he would do anything also, just like Yvette, for the community. Everybody loved the both of them. They had so much history there, and people really enjoyed them. Unfortunately, things would take a dramatic turn for the worse once a neighbor would move in underneath them. Now, Bruce Anderson would soon move in with her sister underneath Smithy. Now, Bruce's sister had been living in the building, and the things that I described about Smithy and Yvette, the sister felt that way. And Bruce would seem to like Smithy also. I mean, every time he seen Smithy, Bruce would speak and Smithy would do the same, because everybody know that Smithy loved everybody.
Him and his wife were feuding with a guy that lived underneath them, and evidently it's been going on for years. And evidently the guy just snapped.
He had issues with them. He said they made too much noise. And they had two cats. She was in her 60s and he was in his 70s. So how much noise did they make?
Mary.
Strange.
In what way?
Well, he didn't speak. He didn't help. If he saw me coming out of my apartment and he was coming out, he would close his door and go back in until I left the building.
They would both offer hands to help each other when at need. Unfortunately, Bruce would learn that Yvette was Smithy's, girlfriend, wife. So Bruce started liking Yvette. And he would do little flirts here and there. Even though he knew that Yvette was married to Smithy, Bruce would still flirt with her. Until one day, Yvette got tired of the flirting and put her foot down. Now, she had already told Bruce before, like, no, it's not going to happen. But this time, Yvette was real firm. Like, now you're being disrespectful. Please stop flirting. Like, that's it. We're just neighbors. We're cool. Whatever. After Yvette told Bruce this, Bruce started getting mean. He started getting real aggressive and angry. Every time you turn around, he was being funny to Smithy and Yvette doing little stuff, as in taking the broom or a hammer and banging on the wall or the top of the ceiling, things to like irritate the couple. Now, Bruce will also see them outside in the halls or outside, period, and say little things or do little things that would irritate them or he know would make them mad. Now, since Smithy and Yvette had kind hearts, they tried to ignore Bruce as much as possible, but Bruce wasn't having it. Bruce became more aggressive to the point where he would post little stuff on his social media that looked it like Yvette and say little cruel things. It was like pictures of a woman being tied up or being tortured, evil things like that. And neighbors would start getting suspicious, like feeling like it's weird. But Bruce would keep doing stuff to bother Smithy and Yvette. Now, October 18th, 2018, Bruce would be in the hallway waiting for Smithy to take a break. Now, when Smithy take a lunch break, he comes back to his apartment and take that lunch break, and Bruce knew it. Bruce would be waiting for Smithy to come in the hallway, and he would sucker punch Smithy, causing Smithy to kind of stumble a little bit, because, you know, Bruce was younger. He was like 50 something and Smithy was in his 70s. So Smithy, of course, kind of lost balance. And once he started to lose balance, Bruce stabs him over and over again. Now, Smithy was trying to get away and run, but he was just too weak to do it. And Bruce would take the gun and shoot Smithy in the head. Now, once Yvonne heard the, yelling and the shooting and all of this, she would come out her apartment just to look. Now, she sees Bruce standing over Smithy, so she turns around to run into her apartment, but Bruce catch up with her, comes into the apartment, and neighbors say that they heard Bruce begging for Yvette to take him, to be with him. And he was like, I would do anything for you. Let's be together. It's just me and you. And Yvonne wasn't having it. She knew who her man was. And she was not about to fall into Bruce's trap. She didn't like him. And she didn't like that he was disrespecting Smithy and her all the time. So she told him no. And he wound up shooting her in the neck and in the head. Now, after Bruce would do this violent event to Smithy and Yvette, he would now start moving through the apartments, shooting in through people's doors. And also, now he had went into his apartment. Now, Smithy's sister was no longer in that apartment because months ago, she started realizing that Bruce was getting out of hand with the Smiths. And so she moved out. She wanted no parts of it. So now Bruce was in that apartment alone. Now, Bruce had barricaded himself in the apartment and he was still shooting. And police were called by neighbors and stuff. So now police are there. Now, police and witnesses heard Bruce says, come and get it. Like he was enticing the police to shoot him and kill him. So he was howling, come and get it. Now, unfortunately, Bruce would now shoot himself. And police wind up forcefully entering. But come to find out, Bruce was in there catching the apartment building on fire. He lit his apartment literally on fire. So once officers realized that the apartment was on fire, and they also seen the Smith family like dead, like EMT and ambulance and everything were there. They were putting out the fires, and after they put out the fires, they collected 3 bodies, which would be Bruce, Yvette, and also Smithy bodies. Unfortunately, residents was terrified, some even wanting to move. But people said that Bruce was picking on this couple for months. He also did a false statement against Yvette, saying Yvette threatened him with like a gun or a knife, which later on Bruce would say that it was all a lie. But Bruce started getting like crazy, and everybody started noticing. And it was beyond me that they would even still allow Bruce to live in that building. Like, why wasn't he put out months ago? It was weird, but he was still there. And unfortunately, the way Bruce was thinking was mind-blowing. He seriously had mental issues.
Police say they recovered 2 firearms from the suspect's apartment. They have not officially released the names of the couple that was killed, but neighbors tell us that 78-year-old man was a super for one of the other buildings on this block. They say he was kind and always made sure everyone else was taken care of. Live in Harlem tonight, Valerie Castro, CBS 2 News.
To literally take this older couple's life, then his, and then attempt to shoot in other people's apartment doors, and then attempt to catch the building on fire. Like, he was crazy. He began to get uncontrollably mental over Yvette. It was unbelievable. But unfortunately, families, friends, and neighbors had to witness this bad event. You guys, please pray for the family, friends, and neighbors that had to deal with this issue. And don't forget to like, comment, and definitely subscribe to my channel for more stories like this, true crime. Thanks for watching. Peace.